Today I'm starting a new series on my channel. I'm going to explain to you one of the biggest financial mistakes I've made in my life and hopefully how I'm going to rectify that. So the story starts over 10 years ago. I got given this double-decker bus. Previous to that, I was running a double-decker bus, party bus, and had youth projects running out of it. That's what I did before YouTube. Anyway, that bus retired. I got given a new, better bus, but at that time was when YouTube was really taking off for me, so I put it in storage and forgot about it. 6 years ago, this month, I enlisted the help of my friend Mike to transform this bus into something I had always dreamt of, which was an events bus that I could travel around in, installing a hot tub on the top deck, being able to throw parties. I thought it would be amazing for festivals and events around the UK. Now, I, at the time, was making the most money I've ever made on YouTube. I was probably making between 30 to 40 grand a month, and I didn't clearly set expectations of how much I wanted to spend on the bus. I was just like, I'm gonna make it happen, whatever it takes. This is my dream. Anyway, things kind of spiraled out of control, and I still don't know to this day how much I've spent on this bus, but it's north of £100,000, which is probably 5 times what it's worth. Now, obviously I could sit here and wallow in regret that I've spent this much money on the bus, especially as it's now been sitting unused for at least 5 years or 4 years. Used it a couple of times. I was originally imagining, this was a fully operating events bus going out every week, multiple times a week. I could generate some really good income from it. And I based that on what I'd seen from the bus that I was running in my 20s, the boom bus, running parties every weekend. I was making good money, so I don't think it was silly of me to think that, but I think what was ambitious was that I was just so busy when this bus project first started. I was traveling non-stop. It was like the peak of me traveling, and the last thing I could do was start a business in the UK. The direction of my life, which I hadn't predicted, just meant I was spending way more time in the US. I was still very nomadic. I hadn't really planned ahead, and at the time it was like, I've spent like 3 or 4 months worth of my earnings on it, so it didn't seem too crazy. Anyway, since then, this bus has been sitting here unused, starting to deteriorate a little bit, and I have not seen any financial return. So this is the situation. I am now starting a new life with Raya in Costa Rica. As you know, we are saving up money to build a house on the land that we've bought. We're hoping to start a family soon. We got married a couple of months ago, and the position we've found ourselves in is that we don't really have any savings. We've spent all our savings on the land, on the wedding, and YouTube isn't as lucrative as it once was for me. I feel like it's been an amazing 10 years, 11 years on this platform. I've absolutely loved it. But I would definitely say this isn't the peak of my success on YouTube, which, for various reasons and just kind of life changes and, the journey, figuring things out. But it has meant that our income has declined quite a bit, especially with the amount of travel I was doing before the pandemic, most of the jobs we were doing and sponsorships. So anyway, we're slowly kind of recovering, getting some income again, but we need to save up a bunch of money to do anything with the project in Costa Rica, and I desperately need to recuperate some of the money somehow that I've put into this. I mean, I literally could have put a huge down payment on a house. Anyway, there's no point living in regret, but I'm just trying to explain. I was always a little bit gung-ho, and I probably could say reckless with my spending in the early days of YouTube, and hadn't planned ahead well. I never wanted to spend this much money on it. Anyway, it is what it is. And for the last few years, I've really been scratching my head thinking like, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't recuperate barely any money if I sell it, maybe make 20, 30 grand back if I'm lucky. Or there's the option of raffling it off, but I just felt that wasn't the best move, and I'd need to sell like 1,000 raffle tickets at £100 each, and it just didn't feel like the move either. The other thing I was going to try and do with this bus was, at the beginning of 2020, I was all ready to ship this out to the US, and I was going to bring it over to LA and run projects on it there and film a whole road trip driving across America in it, and I was really excited about that. And then I was hopefully going to start a business in LA, kind of running it as an events bus. Then the pandemic happened, everything shut down. There was no way I was going to be able to do a road trip and meetups. There weren't any events running, so it was kind of shut down. That whole idea got shut down before it got started. One final painful thing that happened financially was getting the bus ready for potentially shipping out to the US. It needed to pass its MOT, just checking that it's all fit for driving. And I guess there was a communication breakdown, and the guy who was kind of fixing it up and just getting it ready somehow just spent crazy amounts of money getting it fixed without clarifying that I was willing to spend that. And I got a bill for like £11,000. Again, just brutal bill to receive, and I was quite upset about it, but there was nothing really I could do without things getting legal, so I just had to kind of swallow it and be like, you know, and it's just another thing, another painful part of this process. So I'm not too sad about it all. I just see this as an opportunity to redeem this situation and hopefully turn this all around. So I think I found the solution. So my friend George is currently renting his buses out. He's found some land, he's parked them up. They're beautiful places to stay. And he's approached me saying, why don't we team up? He can help find some land. We can park this up in the UK, get it looking a bit nicer, getting it ready to live on, and start making some money back on it. The mission is I need to clean the bus up. Having been sat here for 5 years, there's quite a lot of work that needs to be done on it. It's got a lot of potential. I think most of it's here. It just needs cleaning, repairing, and adapting a little bit more to be lived on, because when I built it, it was more of a events bus with the option to live on it, but now it's going to be, let's make it so it's more of just a place to live. It's got plumbing downstairs, it's got a sink, it's got an oven, it's got a cooker, it's got a lounge TV, it's got a bed that folds out. Nothing's really up in this top room, and currently I've removed the hot tub from the top deck. So anyway, over the next month, I'm going to be working hard, repairing, renovating this bus to try and rectify, like I said, one of the biggest financial mistakes of my life. And it may take years to recuperate money, but that's still fine. I can be patient, I can hold out for the long haul. So I'm gonna make a whole series of me repairing, renovating this bus, getting it back to a beautiful tiny home to live on. And then hopefully by the end of the summer, this will be parked up, ready to start renting out. And I'm going to do a giveaway for you guys at the end of the series where you can win a night's stay on the bus. For you guys to follow along this journey, this series of me renovating the bus, getting it back to a condition where I can rent it out for people to stay on, would be incredible. I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of advice in hindsight, things I shouldn't have done, things I could have done better, but look, it is what it is. I'm here now, I'm just trying to work with what I've got. And obviously I've learned a lot of lessons. I feel like I value so much more having the income, and I'm going to be a lot wiser in the future, saving money, investing stuff. But I also feel like sometimes you just have to learn the hard way in life, and this is what this has been. So if you're excited about watching this process, please hit subscribe if you're not already. And even you guys watching these videos is going to help so much. So let's go and figure everything out.